Hey guys, it's Rick Swiniger with Jesus Talks. Now, we are standing here in Milan, or the Cathedral, the Duomo of Milan, which is the third largest church in the world. And it was built over how many centuries? Almost 6. So here's the deal. Started in 1386, completed in 1965, and it was essentially 579 years to build this thing. It's massive. You'd take a long time to walk around it. That could be a good workout. Give you 10,000 steps. And you can go up on the roof, and they have statues of people all over, inside and outside. It's very, very, very nice. Although now they cost money to go into. But here's the point about being here today. Are you thinking about legacy? Are you thinking about your children and their children and their children's children's children? The thing is, I believe God wants us to think about long-term, our children and their children, and how we can be a blessing to them. I'm not talking about financially just passing down something. It's more than just trusts and wills and testaments and things you're giving to them. It's an actual life-giving, God-life blessing that you need to download to your children and their children for generations, hopefully up to 1,000 generations, which basically means forever. So who did this in the Bible? There's 2 figures I want to talk about real quickly, and then I'll give you a challenge. The 2 figures contrasting is Abraham and Hezekiah. Abraham, we know as Father Abraham, right? So Abraham is the Hebrew, the one who crosses over the stream or the Euphrates, and he went from the land of the Chaldeans to the Ur, and he went over into the promised land, Canaan, later, right? So he does this big move. The main thing Abraham had was a relationship with God. And at some point he goes, oh, that's really nice that you blessed me, but you didn't give me any children. I need to have children to pass this thing on. He goes, okay, I'll promise you a son. Guess how long it takes? He was 75. It takes till he's 100 for Isaac to be born. 25 years waiting for the promise. And now we all call him Father Abraham. Why? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? They are the beginning of Israel. Jacob changes to Israel. And we know all the Jews now call him Father Abraham. Then he had Ishmael as well with Hagar, and they became the Arab nations. So all the Muslims, Prophet Muhammad says he came from Ishmael. So they don't call him Father Abraham. They essentially consider him a prophet and a great father. So then Christianity came along, and the lineage of Abraham is Jesus. And so all Christians consider him to be their father as well. We all call him Father Abraham. So we have billions and billions and billions of people from one man deciding that he is going to have a dream of legacy and passing on to his children, asking God, bless me generationally. So this is the thing. This thing started 700 years ago. The person who laid that first brick or that first stone, do you think he knew we would be enjoying it right now? Maybe, maybe not, but probably not me and you. But the deal is, they thought generationally. They thought long term. And that's how we need to think. We need to start laying the foundation and the bricks of our future, not just for our future. How foolish is it just to live for the TV, just to live for things that are now, instead of living for the whole future? Also, Abraham planted a tree, but not for himself. He knew that it'd take generations to grow and be fruitful for his lineage. The idea here is he was always a forward thinker in time. Remember the movie Back to the Future, where Doc is always saying to Marty McFly, hey, you're not thinking 4th dimensionally. In other words, the 4th dimension being time. We need to think 4th dimensionally when it comes to our children's children, okay? We need to pass these things on, the blessing of Abraham, the blessing that we have, the unique thing that we have to give to them, who we are, our character, and basically the relationship of God that we have with them. So here's the deal. Hezekiah, totally opposite in the sense of this. Hezekiah was a good king. He was righteous and good, and he did all these wonderful things for the nation of Israel. It's one of the few, I think there was 8 good kings in the Old Testament. It's one of the few good ones. But here's what happens. Later in his life, he gets deathly sick and terminally ill. He's gonna die. And he's like, God, please don't let me die, let me live, let me live. And so Isaiah comes into him and says, okay, God answered your prayer. He said, get your house in order first, you're gonna be dead. He prays, and he comes and he says, look, you're gonna live. You're gonna live for 15 more years. 15 more years. And so he's like, yeah, he's so excited. He's all jacked, right? He's getting ready to go for 15 more years. And I wonder if that's almost a curse. He knew how long he would live, and then he started to live kind of a little bit more prideful. Well, definitely more prideful, but a little bit more the way he wanted, apparently. knowing that he's going to have these 15 years. Here's what happens in his life. Hezekiah has a visit from the Babylonians, the Chaldeans. They come in and he shows them everything in his kingdom, the gold, the silver, the spices, lets them go through the armory, show the seals, everything. They leave, and Isaiah comes back to him, the prophet, and says, what did the Babylonians see? He goes, I showed them everything, all my splendor, all my wealth. He goes, then one day they will take it all, basically because of your pride. Hezekiah goes, well, that's not a great deal, right? But then Isaiah says, this will not happen in your days. It'll be peace in your days. And Hezekiah goes, the word of the Lord that you said is good. And I'm like, what? He's going to take over your whole kingdom? He's going to destroy it, and you might not have any future? And it's good? But here's what it says as a footnote. Hezekiah thought in his head that, hey, at least I'll have peace and security in my days. He only cared about his days. He could care less about his kids and the future. And here's the other thing about Hezekiah. In that 15-year period of his extra life, he has a son. His name is Manasseh. That king becomes the most evil, worst king of Israel. And the funny thing is, Hezekiah reigned for 29 years. Manasseh reigns for 55 years. The longest reign of any king, the most evil. He was so evil, he practiced sorcery, put up idolatry everywhere. In fact, the most heinous sin that he possibly could do, Manasseh even killed his own son, sacrificed him to idols. That's full circle, right? Think about Father Abraham, who wants to have a child, prays for a child, and wants to bless him for generations, versus a man who's like, I want it to be done, oh, it's fine as long as it's good in my day, and then doesn't take care of his son or train his son apparently enough, becomes the most evil, who sacrifices his future kids to idols, literally kills them. So here's the thing. I'm sure we're not on the spectrum here. There's one totally good and totally evil, down to Manasseh, but we have to be something going towards the Abraham side of things. And so here's the challenge. Those are two people. Who would you like to be like? Well, of course you want to be like Father Abraham. I hope you wouldn't want to sacrifice children. We sacrifice our children every day though. We don't give them the time of day. We don't give them the training they need. So what I'm going to say is, for the challenge, take the next 30 days and read 1 or 2 or 3 parenting books. It just depends on where you are in your life. You can read 2 or 3, go ahead. Otherwise, just get one parenting book. Read how to parent your children, how to teach them, and how to make legacy go on for a longer time. Or how to set up a trust, get a will, those kind of things. Those are important. But really what you need to know is how to bless your child. And even if you decide just to do a Bible study about children and how to bless them, I'm not going to put time limit on it, not 10 minutes a day, an hour a day. Focus on a book, focus on a Bible study for your children and make generational changes. Start today. Remember, Jesus talks and he has all the answers.